What is going on, guys? Good morning. Let me get kind of situated here. But back at you guys this morning with another NFL division video. This time we are doing the AFC North. We did the AFC East yesterday, and over the next couple of days, we're going to continue to do these division breakdowns. We're going to do the North today, possibly the South today if I can get to it before I go to work this afternoon. If not, we'll do the AFC South tomorrow. Then we'll wrap up the AFC with the West before going to the NFC. But also, a big thank you to those who have viewed the last Kennel Bits video I did discussing the death of heavy metal and rock icon Ozzy Osbourne. I woke up this morning to it having triple-digit views, so thank you guys for that. Super cool. Also, the next Do You Remember installment, wrestling's most shocking incidents that have gone on, part number 11. It's going to be... I'm finally going to break my personal silence on the Chris Benoit family tragedy. So if you are privy to that and know anything about that and whatnot, I will have that video up here in the next couple of days. I think I have that pinned for this weekend. But anyway, we're going to dive into the AFC North. As I said, we broke down the AFC West, or excuse me, the AFC East yesterday. And we're going to kick things off in the North with the team I think is going to win this division. I think this is going to be probably one of the closest division races of 2025. The reason being because 3 of the 4 teams I think could be perennial playoff teams. Looking at it from, the perspective of, how close I have these 3 teams. And we're going to start things off with what I think is going to be the division winner, that being the Baltimore Ravens. I think the Ravens, Lamar Jackson coming off of an MVP year, I think that the Ravens, if they can stay healthy, they have a chance to make a run, if you will. My biggest concern with the Ravens, much like the Bills, is they have this conundrum when they get to the playoffs, and then the wheels just kind of fall off the wagon, if you will. And I think that that's going to be Baltimore's biggest hurdle is, getting, into the playoffs. If they run into, a Chiefs team, it seems like the Chiefs seem to be the kryptonite of a lot of teams in the AFC. The Ravens, their ceiling, I have them at 12-5. Kind of feel like I'm undercutting them a little bit. And their floor I have at 10-7. Like I said, I do believe that the Ravens are going to win this division outright. Like I said, the key thing about all of that is if Lamar can play like classic Lamar throughout the entire season, not just in the regular season and then kind of, fizzle and fade out in the playoffs. But I got the Ravens winning the division. In a very close second, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow is another one of those quarterbacks. It depends on what you get. Do you get clutch Joe that can win the close games? They can win the games in crunch time like he's supposed to, or the big thing about Cincinnati is they re-signed their 2 top receivers, that being Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. There was a lot they were going to retain. Jamar Chase no matter what, but T. Higgins was kind of one of those receivers that was kind of on the fringe, but they ended up re-signing him. So a lot of their guys are coming back offensively. And then, like I said, I just don't see them competing all the way with Baltimore. But I do have them I have their ceiling at 11-6. I do have their floor a little bit lower at 9-8. So, like I said, it's one of those things. Yo, big baby, good morning. Yo, Yellow, what is this rubbish? It's a video. You don't have to like it. You don't have to watch it if you don't like it. But it helps my analytics. So hey, thanks anyway. And then team I got the most to talk about. I've got them finishing 3rd place is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now. This is where it gets fun. Yo, T-Zen, I'm doing well, my friend. We are talking NFL divisions. We are going to be doing this before I do my. Thank you, big baby. Thank you for that. Like I said, you want to come in my chat, be disrespectful. I do have moderators. I do need to get a couple more moderators because I did lose a couple of them. But yeah, come into my chat. Be rude. You're gonna get removed. So, Storm Duck, welcome. Good morning. Pittsburgh Steelers. So obviously the biggest offensive acquisition for them was quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who is going to be playing in what is likely going to be his final year. This is going to be his 21st year. Azo Ali, hello, welcome in. I love seeing the last couple of days when I've been making videos, a lot of new faces have popped in, so which is really, really good to see. Aaron Rodgers joins this team, and the Steelers have been busy. The Steelers did lose running back Najee Harris, but they also gained the likes of wide receiver DK Metcalf from Seattle. I'm not the big show, but thanks anyway. Also picked up Jonnu Smith from Miami. They also picked up Jalen Ramsey. So I've had more references to Stone Cold Steve Austin than I have the Big Show. Big Show's a new one, though. Somebody cool dude just like and sub. Hey, T-Zen, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Very, very much. We are on the road to 600 subs. We just eclipsed 550 subs yesterday, as a matter of fact. So keep the subs coming. But the Steelers, I like what Pittsburgh has done. And like I said, I really think... Okay, that's not big baby. If you can please remove Storm Duck. Like I said, I apologize, guys. Like I said, the beauty of the internet is hang on one second. We got a comedian. Thank you very much. Like I said, you come into my chat with that kind of crap, you're gonna get removed. That's just all there is to it. Big baby, my main moderator, like I said, he puts in usually doesn't have to. Usually my comments are clean and but every now and then you get yahoos like that want to they want to be a comedian. But JWJ Gaming, hello and welcome in. Let's just remove some of these negative crap. But welcome to everybody that is coming in. Jimmy is fun, says Goldberg. That's another a wrestler that I get compared to a lot, and it's one of those things. J Love or J Love, Leah, hello. Like I said, all these new faces that are coming in, please welcome them, welcome in, and all that good stuff. T-Zen, the Crown. Oh, and we got another one. I love it. You guys are working overtime today. It has to do. It's how many with like people that comment and stuff. It puts. It's like some kind of a perk thing. Not really too familiar with it. I know it's something that just recently started. But okay. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not sure what. Like I said, I know it's something that just recently started with YouTube within the last probably like month or so. Eminem, I don't even know what that is, let alone whether I'm almost afraid to ask what it is. But anyhow, Pittsburgh. Get back to what I'm making this video for instead of people or some of these weird comments and whatnot I've been seeing in the chat here. But the Steelers, I think they're going to be improved. Like I said, I think it's very possible that the Ravens, Steelers, and Bengals all make the playoffs. Again, the big question for Pittsburgh is going to be, can an aging Aaron Rodgers lead them to prominence before he rides off into the sunset? He mentioned before on the pack. These people are wasting. It's weird when I record on my phone. I seem to get a lot more trolls on my phone than I do when I stream on my PS5. Which, speaking of which, side note, internet will be fixed tomorrow morning. I've got several uh, people, or I got a couple of different people coming out tomorrow to fix my internet. So tomorrow afternoon, we should be getting back to Final Fantasy X, and then once we get done with Final Fantasy X, for some odd reason, Final Fantasy 16 is calling my name because I have not done the DLC, and I really want to do the game. Yo, T-Zen, I appreciate that very much. That's the idea, is to keep, despite the fact since I moved into my new house, I've had nothing but internet trouble for the last like 3 weeks. The views are on the rise, the subs are on the rise, everything is still on the rise. And you know what? I'm going to make do with what I got, with how I got it. So, GBS1, what football or soccer team do you support? I am a Green Bay Packers fan, all the way. I have been since I was a kid. But the Steelers, like I said, the Steelers, I have their ceiling at 10-7, and I have their floor at 8-9. Like I said, it's really going to hinge on how well Aaron Rodgers, plays. Like I said, he had a really lackluster year. His last year with the Jets, his first year, I mentioned yesterday's video talking about the AFC East. His first year as a Jet, he suffered a ruptured Achilles tendon 4 plays into the season, and that's not an injury that you just come back from, lickety split type thing. Yo, Ralston, go Pack, go! That's right. Preach it in the chat. Go Pack, go! Like I said, we'll be doing my NFL picks like normal this year. And then rounding out the AFC North, I've got the Cleveland Browns. This team is going to be, I don't want to say a dumpster fire. I don't like that's a term I'm going to use for an NFC team when we start breaking down the NFC. But the Browns, they're going to be without Deshaun Watson for a good chunk of the year. And then that's going to open up the door for the likes of Kenny Pickett, Shadur Sanders, that got drafted in the NFL draft, fell to the 5th round. It's all a matter about who's going to start for the Browns while Deshaun is out recovering. And again, another ruptured Achilles. There was a lot of Achilles injuries last year, which was really, very unfortunate. But yo, Retro, what is I'm sorry, Eminem is mine. I don't think people can tell I like Eminem. I'm not a big rap person. I never have been. I'm more rock alternative. But it's not that I dislike rap. I don't have a favorite rapper. I loved Eminem in the beginning. Like I said, I like this the Marshall Mathers LP was actually one of my favorite Eminem albums of all time. So, but I'm more of a I'm a Breaking Benjamin, Linkin Park. I was a big Linkin Park fan. I still am to a degree, and I might do a video about, Linkin Park switching their lead singers. Obviously, Chester Bennington. The anniversary of his passing happened just a few days ago. But that might be a Kindlebit episode as well about my thoughts on, replacing Chester Bennington with Emily Armstrong. But that's a video for another time. But the Browns are it's going to be a train wreck for the Browns. I have them as close as I have the other 3 teams. I have the Browns on the other side of the spectrum. I have the Browns, they're ceiling at 4-13, and their ceiling, or I'm sorry, their floor at a dismal 2-15. I don't think they're going to be the worst team in the league this year. Again, that's worst team in the league, in my opinion, is going to be a team from the NFC South. We'll talk about them probably coming into the weekend. But yeah, so there you go. Like I said, I kind of felt like I dealt with more riffraff in the chat than going over the this division. But like I said, I got the Ravens winning the division, followed by Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and then Cleveland rounding it out. So, but yeah, that's the gist of that. Thank you guys for all the I'm literally seeing a bunch of emotes on the right hand side. That's something I've never noticed before, at least on my phone. But yeah. So the next division we're going to do is the AFC South. A lot to talk about in that division. especially with one team in particular losing their quarterback already for the season before it even starts. But like I said, that'll be the next video. Like I said, I'll try to get that up before I go to work this afternoon. If not, I will get that up as early as tomorrow morning. Like I said, I do, my internet should be fixed tomorrow morning. I have a tech and a supervisor coming out because apparently when they installed my internet 3 weeks ago, they didn't even install it right. So, and they said that when you have 3 calls for the same thing, it becomes a chronic thing to where they actually send a supervisor out, which I actually talked to him yesterday. He was super, super nice. So I'm going to hold off on switching internet providers and give my current one another go. But if it fails, then that's okay. I'm going to keep my Friday appointment and get better internet. So we'll see how all that goes. But all roads are going to lead to tomorrow, guys. If so, I'll do like a 2 or 3 hour Final Fantasy X stream. Start getting that wrapped up so that way we can move on to something different. Oh, trust me, brother. You and like I said, I have been so terrified these last few days or last couple of weeks. Because I haven't been able to record much. My wife actually gave me, the idea, well, why don't you just record stuff on your phone, just some random stuff, that way you can keep content going while, until they fix this. And, I'm like, that's actually a really good idea. And that's why I kind of been, I've been wanting to do these division breakdowns since before I went to the ICGMA Awards this past weekend. It's just been, with the move and everything else, timing has been such a hot commodity as of late. But like I said, we did close on the old house. Everything is moved on from that. Jimmy says I am goated. I appreciate that. I mean, I don't toot my own horn, but I do try to give you guys the best content I possibly can. And like I said, I'm going to try to get one more video up this afternoon. And I'm going to wrap this video up before I start to sneeze because I feel one coming. So anyway, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Please give this video a thumbs up if you would. It does help the channel immensely. And like I said, I'm going to try to come up again. I should be able to come up with one more video before I go to work this afternoon. So, Big Baby says one of the best. No, brother, that's you. So, but anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up. And like I said, we'll catch you guys. Like I said, if not today, it'll be first thing tomorrow morning with the AFC South preview. So don't miss it, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.